In a world filled with early access survival sandbox games, it's nice to finally see a game coming out that shares similarities with DayZ. Scum is an open world survival game with deep levels of character customization, control, and progression where players have control over their skills and attributes. Here's what we currently know about the story of Scum. Tech One, an entertainment company, has created a new show that appeals to the world's need for violence. Season 2 of the wildly popular TV show Scum is about to begin. This show takes place on an island, Bagnères de Cayenne, which has a history of incarcerating criminals. Fan favorites from Season 1 will be able to fight against new prisoners in a ruthless battle of survival while trying to win the favor of viewers, sponsors, and producers. And that's essentially all we really know about the story that surrounds Scum at the current moment. It's very preliminary, it's in early access, and the game isn't even released on Steam yet, so let's start focusing on what we do have, which is gameplay information. Now for the gameplay, players will have to manage their nourishment, metabolic rate, body mass, weapon proficiencies, and combat skills to survive the harsh environments of the island. The more you dominate your competitors, the more gifts you'll receive from corporate sponsors. If you happen to die, you can get resurrected by the show's producers with all your skills intact. Players will have to fight amongst themselves, the environment, hordes of AI puppets that are controlled by the TV network, and of course wild animals. Scum will also include a story-driven survival game with single-player, multiplayer, and co-op survival modes, and some of the features include full-scale character customization, skill-based crafting systems, AI-controlled hordes, a cross between survival sandbox gameplay and goal-oriented gameplay, and a detailed health and metabolic system. Scum is also trying to be different from other survival games with their melee and combat system. Scum is moving to a more free camera targeted fight system, similar to games like the UFC. This system allows players to engage in a more realistic fighting style rather than just punching each other wildly in the head. The player will have the ability to block, dodge, and do a variety of different punches and kicks based on their skill level. And you guessed it, the different attributes affect your character's combat. Characters will have a variety of melee combat skills, from no skill level to advanced skill level. However, the physical condition of the character and the attribute points will contribute to how your character fights. Characters will be able to have this free look camera when they're fighting against their opponents in first and third. However, for first person servers, the melee system also works great, minus the free look camera. There are also combinations that allow you to do more damage when you're fighting your opponent with an increased chance to knock them out, but drains the stamina faster, so it's best saved for the best moment. In Scum, you're able to choose from a variety of different attributes at the very start of the game: strength, constitution, dexterity, and intelligence. And based on the actions of your character, your diet, and your health choices, these attributes can change. Every item you carry in the game will also have an impact on how you perform in combat. The heavier gear will make you move slower and drain your stamina faster. The developers recommend dropping excess gear before jumping into the fight. The combat system can also be used against other enemy AI in the game, as well as animals too, but try not to be picking a fight with a bear too soon. Scum will also feature an inertia system that will take into account the weight of the character and gear. Players with more gear will be affected more by the inertia than players that choose to travel lightly. The only way to reduce the inertia on your character is dropping the weight or actually lowering your character's body fat. Now, onto the gunplay. Like the melee combat, the firearm gameplay will be heavily customizable based on the attributes you choose. For example, recoil, accuracy, and spread for your weapon can be influenced by the character's strength, whereas estimating ranges, windage for sniping will be heavily influenced by your character's intelligence. If your character gets exhausted, wounded, ill, or drugged, their ability to handle weapons will be reduced. For the sniping skilled players, they will have to zero their own weapons and accommodate for the wind, range, temperature, humidity, air pressure, and even the altitude. Your character can calculate all of this information, but it can take a very long time for an inexperienced player. The more sniping skill you have, the faster you'll be able to gather this information to make the proper shot. Some optics can fit on a wide variety of different weapons, but they may not work properly given that some optics are calibrated for a very specific weapon. For example, the SVD optic may work on an AKM, but it won't be as accurate as an SVD because of the different calibrations. For weapons, all we know is the AKM, the SVD, the Mosin, and what I can see is an M9 pistol, possibly. are the only confirmed weapons based on what I've seen from some screenshots, but you can bet that there's going to be a large variety of weapons available at early access release and in the future. And also, are those like tank shells or artillery shells? Something like that, like a BMP? There could be some crazy vehicles, we don't know yet, but that is a very large round, so it's going to have some use. It won't be able to fit in a weapon that you can carry with your hands, that's for sure. We can also see that there's going to be a lot of different melee weapons like knives and cleavers that will be available that will probably make melee combat a little bit easier. So going up against like a really experienced boxer, if you're only like an inexperienced player, using a cleaver, you might actually have a really good chance to kill that person. And like in other survival games, there will be a variety of different camouflage options and customization choices for your character to help you blend in with your environment. And that is currently a summary of everything that we currently know about Scum, which is scheduled to be released in early access sometime in 2017. And I'll also include links to all the video resources I used to create this video, so if you want to learn more about the melee system and the rifle system, there are two well-made videos on the Gamepire's YouTube channel that will tell you everything that you need to know in more detail about both of the combat systems. So, will Scum be the next DayZ? There definitely isn't a whole lot of contenders out there at the current moment, and this looks like one of the games that might actually have a good shot. I don't think anything is ever really going to be dethroning the king right now of survival MMOs. Even with its low state, DayZ Standalone is still a very difficult game to match with its survival aspects. However, from what I've seen so far from the initial videos released on Scum, I'm extremely hopeful about this game in the future. However, I would like to see more of an emphasis on first-person play rather than third-person. I think there's way too many third-person survival games out there, and Scum is missing an opportunity to set themselves out to be different from the others, even though that they like their revolutionary melee combat system, which is going to be able to add that free look camera, which might make melee combat feel a little bit smoother. But anyways guys, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe here to the channel. I'll do my best to let you guys know more information about Scum when it becomes available and whenever the release date is going to be coming out. And whenever this game is released on Steam, we're definitely going to be live streaming it and making YouTube videos for it. So definitely check in on the channel from time to time if you want to learn more about this game. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.